I set out a decoy casserole and my sister-in-law carried it home in front of everyone. My sister-in-law Danielle has this thing where she leaves every family dinner with more food than she came with. Not leftovers people offered her, just food. She'd show up with a bag of grocery store rolls and go home with my whole tray of enchiladas, the good serving dish included. At first I thought I was imagining it. Then I started noticing the dishes never came back. I have this white ceramic baker my grandma left me. It went to Danielle's house 2 years ago inside a lasagna and I have not seen it since. When I asked, she said, "Oh, I'll dig it out, it's around somewhere." That was in the spring. Still around somewhere. The part that got me was she'd do it in the open. She'd walk to the kitchen while everyone was still eating dessert, snap a lid on the biggest dish, and carry it to her car like she was doing me a favor by clearing the table. And nobody said anything. My mother-in-law would go, "Danielle's such a help." My husband would shrug and say, "That's just how she is, don't make it weird." So for a while I didn't make it weird. I made smaller portions. I served things in cheap foil pans so I wouldn't care when they walked. But then Thanksgiving came and she took the turkey. Not the leftover turkey. The turkey. Half of it was still on the platter and she wrapped the whole thing in foil at 6 p.m. and put it in a tote bag by the door. I watched her do it. When I said, "Hey, we were gonna send some home with your brother too," she said, "There's plenty, relax." That's when I decided to stop asking and start planning. The next family thing was my mother-in-law's birthday. Everybody was bringing a dish. I told my husband I'd handle the main casserole. I made two. The real one. A chicken and rice thing everybody actually likes. I labeled with a sticky note that said "Do not serve" and hid it in the garage fridge behind the sodas. The decoy went on the counter in a gorgeous dish. Golden top, breadcrumbs, the works. It looked incredible. It was tuna, canned salmon, cottage cheese, a can of sardines mashed in, and about a third of a cup of the surest sauerkraut in the state. I baked it just long enough to set the top. The smell. Honestly, I kept a window open. People arrived. I put the good food out from the garage fridge and kept the decoy off to the side, covered, like it was resting. Danielle walked in with a bag of dinner rolls. Same rolls. Always the rolls. Dinner happened. Everyone ate the food I actually served. Around 7 p.m., right on schedule, Danielle drifted toward the kitchen. I pretended not to watch. She lifted the cover on the decoy, looked at that beautiful golden top, and I saw her decide. "This looks amazing," she said. "You didn't even put this one out. You always hide the best stuff." I was saving it, I said. "Well, it's just gonna sit here." She was already reaching for foil. "I'll take it off your hands." My husband looked at me. I looked at my plate. "If you want it," I said, "it's yours." She wrapped it up. She put it in her tote by the door, right next to the rolls. My mother-in-law said, "Danielle, always so thoughtful." Danielle said, "Somebody's gotta clean up around here," and did a little bow. I said nothing. I walked her to her car. I held the door. I told her to drive safe. She texted the family group chat 2 days later. I've read it maybe 40 times. She wrote, "Did anyone else get sick off that casserole? Something was wrong with it." Then, 20 minutes later, I fed it to my kids. My mother-in-law asked me in the chat if the food had been okay. I said everyone here felt great, which was true. We ate the chicken and rice. My husband found the sticky note in the garage trash that night. "Do not serve." He held it up and said, "There were two, weren't there?" "There were two," I said. He didn't say anything for a second. Then he asked if I'd make the real one again sometime, just for us. Danielle hasn't taken a dish home since. She brings her rolls, she eats, and she leaves with exactly what she came with. And every single time now, before she goes, she asks me which one is the real one.